Hi, welcome back to 17 Square Meters Garden. In today's video, I want to inspire you to grow alpine strawberries. Alpine strawberries are amazing. They are smaller than traditional strawberry, but they are equally sweet and equally tasty. Traditional strawberry produces over periods of time in summer, and alpines, for me, they start sometime in April. For you, it may be a little bit later if you live in a colder climate, but they produce from April all the way till winter, non-stop. Even in winter, when it's minus 7 degrees Celsius and there's snow on the floor, they still hold on to their berries. I mean, look at that. We are late February and there are still some berries on them. Of course, they don't ripen in the winter, but that just gives you an idea that those guys are really resistant and they really produce over a long period of time. I have actually never seen them for sale anywhere in the garden centers. Maybe if where you live they are available as plants, that would be great because that saves up a lot of time for you. Although they are amazing plants and they don't require much, they are a bit fussy when it comes to germinating. Some seeds, they have defense mechanism where they don't germinate right after they are in the contact with soil. They need to go through certain weather conditions in order to germinate, and that's the same with alpine strawberries. In nature, when they fall on the ground, they don't germinate right after because then the winter comes and the winter frost would most likely kill the tender seedlings. The seeds know that they can't germinate right after. They need to go through cold dormancy period in winter to after wake up from that dormancy when the warm spring weather arrives. If you just take your seeds and you sow them right from the pocket, they may germinate, and I have heard from people that they never stratify their seeds and they germinate just fine. And I have done both methods. I grew alpine strawberries without stratification and with stratification, and the germination rates after stratification are far better. So how to cold stratify your seeds? There are two methods. You can either sow them in fall, and then when warm weather will arrive in spring, they will germinate naturally by themselves. If you look up online how to cold stratify your berries, you will see all of those tutorials where people make different things, like they mix the seeds with soil, they pot them, they put pots in fridge and stuff like that. Don't bother. The simplest ways are the best. Just take your seed pocket, put it in a Ziploc bag, toss it in the freezer, set your alarm clock at 3-4 weeks, and then you're good to go. Once you finally remove your seeds from freezer, prepare yourself a pot. I suggest you take just one pot and don't bother with taking one seed at a time and potting them separately. That's just waste of time, and as I said, even after cold stratification, sometimes they are fussy and they don't germinate quickly and they don't germinate very well. So the best way to do it is just scatter a bunch of seeds on top of soil in some larger pot, press them gently into the soil and water them, best with some spray bottle to not dislodge the seeds, and then just take the ones that germinated the best and pot them into some separate container later on. Once you seed them, you can of course put some humidity dome to keep them nice and moist. Make sure that they are moist all the time, not completely wet, because then you risk that you will have some fungus development and your seeds can die. So just keep them moist, spray them with spray bottle when you see that the soil starts to dry out. Place them in a bright location. You can put them under grow light if you want the process to be a little bit faster, but don't expect them to produce a lot of berries the first year. So the first year they are only going to grow and they are going to develop, but they are not going to produce many berries. For example, here I have those that I propagated last year. There is probably about 2 seedlings per each pot. It doesn't really matter in the size of pot that you pot them, depends how many seedlings you pot at the same time. You can put several in one pot, you can pot them separately. In nature they grow in clumps, and then those clumps you can pull them apart, you can pot them and you can propagate them this way because it's gonna be faster for you than each time growing them from seeds. So here I have an example of the berry that I grow since, I don't know, probably 5 years now. You can see there's multiple clumps. So what I do, I just every year or every 2 years I increase the size of the container. I gently pull them apart, those clumps, and I try to spread them further away in a pot. So once you have a little bit bigger plants, like these guys, they are 1 year old, you can put them in multi-purpose potting mix. They don't require much. If you can mix in some organic matter, some compost or worm castings with the potting mix, that would be perfect. But keep in mind that even though if you add organic matter, which will slowly decompose and release nutrients into the soil, you may still need to provide them with additional nutrients when they are at their peak, when they flower, when they produce berries. Because fruits and vegetables, they have very high requirements for nutrients. They need a lot of energy to bloom abundantly and then to produce fruit abundantly. So do give them organic fertilizer during the season to promote the healthy growth and to promote abundant flowering, so that after you can harvest a lot of berries. Just like with traditional strawberry, there are different varieties of alpine strawberries. I have tried several and I don't really see a big difference in the flavor. I have red ones and I have yellow ones. They are a little bit less sweet and a little bit less flavored than the red ones, but they are still very, very yummy. So you can buy yourself seeds of different alpine strawberries and grow different varieties in the same time. They like to be kept moist during their growing season, so make sure that you give them a lot of water in one time, fully saturate the soil, and then let the soil slightly dry out before you water again. You don't have to cut them back for winter, most likely the foliage will die off by itself. For me they remain mostly evergreen because I live in quite a mild climate, but if you notice that the leaves turn brown and ugly, just clean them off in spring and they should just come with new fresh growth when the temperatures will warm up. So I think that's pretty much it that I wanted to say about alpine strawberries. They are really great and I really hope that you will give them a try. They require some patience at the beginning, but once they reach their maturity they just perform so amazingly, and I think that's a great addition to your part shade garden, to your balcony garden, when you don't have a lot of space but you still want to grow some yummy berries, especially in part shade where not a lot of fruit can grow. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. I hope that you will give a try to alpine strawberries. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!